Welcome
Welcome
to Shade
to
in the
Aid in the
City.
City.
I'm your girl, Treese.
It's No.
And today we are jumping into Ready to Love Season 8, Episode 5 now. And I believe it was Navigating Non-Negotiables. Yes, yes. Good job. Good job, on. So if you guys, and welcome Shade Squad, welcome our new viewers. If you haven't already, y'all know what to do. Please make sure that you've hit the like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into it. I was just telling Els, this is actually a really cute episode, I think. And I actually think that they got it wrong this one. I would have preferred to see someone else go home. But we'll get into that. And let's get shady. The ladies decide that Red is not ready to love. We're not surprised, right? He says that it's not him that's not ready to love. It's them not ready to love him.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Whatever makes you sleep better at night, you know? So Tommy tells them that he wants them to focus on their non-negotiables. And once they figure out what those are, to set up some dates. So Marvin says being in the bottom has made him question how genuine his connections are since he ended up in the bottom. And I was like, but how you did, oh girl, and we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway.
I think he was basically saying if somebody really messed with me, I wouldn't be in the bottom.
No, I know what he's saying, but how he did, oh girl, so basically.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that shocked me.
Right.
Anyway. I was like, damn, that's how we doing it.
Right. So then we see Herbert is setting up a double date with Janelle and Kat and invites Quentin along. So he asks Janelle when she gets there how her situationships are going. And I love how she points out, well, you know, they're going fine, but you've been busy your damn self because I can't seem to get a text back. I said, you better.
She good at flipping stuff. She did that with Q on the I think the last episode. Like when you ask her a question, she may or may not give you an answer, but she gonna ask you the same question. She gonna flip it on you.
So then he changes the subject and compliments her on how bronze she looks. Now Kat arrives and she's happy to be invited on the date, but you know, obviously would rather be there by herself. And I was just like, well, it seems like the energy wasn't terrible between them, so I don't know how things went so far left.
Because remember, there's a lot we don't see that happens.
If you guys don't know, if you haven't been hip to the tea, old girl Kat told Janelle to pull up based off of, I guess, the looks and whatever the girls gave her last episode. And so I guess she, you know, put something in her Instagram stories, which I guess Janelle got offended by, or Janelle replied to her and basically was like, no, we welcomed her with smiles. We said hi to her outside. And so those, you know, it's editing basically. The looks that we saw them gave, that wasn't genuine or what, that's not what it was. Well, apparently her and Kat were going back and forth and Kat told her to pull up. And Janelle said, around and find out. And she pulled up to the girl's apartment on live, went to the girl's desk, and said it's such and such, and basically was like, come outside, I'm here. And you know, she then went on to do a 2-hour live after this whole situation, and basically tore Kat apart. Says all these spas and stuff that she says she be owning and doing. She just worked there. She don't own nothing. And she has actual businesses. And she said that she knows that she's a big age of 42 and probably shouldn't be acting like that, but she still is working on herself. And if you tell her to pull up, she is never too old to do so.
Has Kat responded?
Kat did respond, but I think after Janelle pulled up, Kat calmed
down. And what could you really say? Because you tell motherfucker to pull up and you ain't even go outside.
Right.
You best keep quiet.
Oh, no. The greatest part was I don't think she came outside, but guess who did show up? Tequila.
What?
To defend her, apparently. against Janelle. Yes. Yes, y'all. I know. It's crazy, right?
So Tequila pulled up also
Mm-hmm.
and just having it
I
out
said,
outside this girl's apartment.
said, do you think we still gonna be running around doing stuff like that at 40? Because I don't do that in my late 30s. I wouldn't do it now.
We don't do it now, but don't nobody tell us to pull up. So
Yeah, that's true. They not
I
that.
think in my 40s, if somebody tell me to pull up,
You never too old
I'm
to pull up.
I'm pulling up.
Well, anyway, so back to this episode. So they seem like the energy is going well. Kat would prefer to be there by herself. And so basically they go to play pickleball. They team up Quentin and Janelle and Herbert and Katarina. And so obviously Janelle and Quentin kick their butt. And he actually picks her up off the ground, which I thought was so cute. And they have their little celebration.
You
Yeah,
know,
you could tell Herbert kind of felt away, but he's like, "What can I do?"
he ain't the only one. Cause literally, when I saw that, I said, "Oh, remember the episode before?" I was like, he's teetering on the line. He about to cross it. He playing with the line, and he don't cross the damn line.
He's playing with the line.
Now he don't cross it. He don't cross the line.
You're funny. So then they sit down and basically I missed the part where he compliments Kat on her because she's like, "Oh, I just been working out or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I can tell." And Janelle's like, "Oh, can you? Can you tell? Is that what you see?" I said, "Woo, okay, she is not letting up with this man." I said, "Well, now Herbert, they sit down and talk about their non-negotiables. He said for him, it's kids. And Katarina says that, she's at a point in her life where if she does or she doesn't, that's not a deal breaker for her. So Quentin says that for him, it's emotional intelligence and being disciplined. And Janelle says that hers is ambition and drive. So Quentin actually likes her answer because he feels like it basically closely aligns with what he wants. Mm-hmm. And he basically doesn't want to be with someone who's content. And then Herbert pulls Janelle aside for a one-on-one before they head out. And he basically feels away about her partner pick. And she lets him know that, no. He picked me, boo. He picked me. I was chose. I said, well, he says that, he's nonchalant and he moves a little bit slower. And so basically, and Janelle basically is like, look, I understand what you're saying, but this is what I expect. And
she said people out here applying pressure. So
right. So I'm going to live my best soft life. And I applaud, I'm not gonna lie to you. One thing I was gonna say in the beginning, I actually applaud Janelle for speaking up because I'm the type, I'm not about to beg you. And I mean, maybe that's just, I could probably be better at communicating, but I feel like if I have to be on you about no, I don't want it to feel forced. I don't need you to put a timer in your phone to remind. If it don't come to you, then we good, but I'm not about to beg you. So I wouldn't have brought it up. We just wouldn't have been talking and you would have never.
Yeah.
So shout out to her for, being transparent.
See,
Better than me.
Look, working on herself.
I know. I still got some self-work to do too, but
maybe when you hit your 40s.
Maybe when I get my 40s.
So Cutie Pie Chris invited Aries to his house for a one-on-one.
I love this date. I loved it. This is first, it was food. It was romantic. It was thought out. I love it. I loved it.
I feel like she basically just said half of what happened.
I'm sorry.
We
can get to the meat and potatoes.
So this boy basically, he hired a chef. That's the food he's talking about. He hired a chef to prepare his traditional cuisines. Aries is super impressed, and for good reason, because it was super dope. It was super dope idea. So they get into their non-negotiables. For her, she says it's the family aspect. She needs someone who is a good example of a father. And he said a non-negotiable for him is a woman who has children and has, a horrible relationship with the father because he can't deal with no drama. She said, her and her ex, he wasn't the one that wanted to break up. So there was, she had to fix the way she communicated with him. But she said she doesn't have any drama as well. Now, he says that it's super important.
When she said that, it gave me the vibe almost like a Mel and Martell. Like, no, I don't want to be with you no more. We're done. And when you try to be nice, that you got to set stiff boundaries and all
Yeah,
that.
it gave me a different vibe. But I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Now he said it's super important because he's also, it's also a co-parenting situation. He said that he wanted to dive a little deeper with her. And he told her that his dad passed before he was born. So he was super close with his mom. And apparently her birthday had just came up. So, it's a bit of a trigger for him. And a trigger, I guess, that makes him happy in a good way. And he loves the fact that she's so close to her sons the way he was with his mom, and says that what he really likes about her is that it seems like she gives her sons the same type of love that his mom gave him. So he gets super vulnerable, he's crying. I don't know why I could not get into this scene. I just felt like the crying
Oh
was a
my
little...
God, I almost cried watching this. See, this is why we be all shade squad, because this type of stuff, I was literally like, I feel for girl. Like, I was over here. It couldn't have been me. He would have, what do they call it? Sympathy? He would have got
This is why she ends up with F boys.
Yeah, because that would have got me.
I don't know. It was like, to me it just seemed like a script that he was reading off of. And I listen, I know his parents passed. I'm just talking about the whole crying, whatever. It only lasted for 2.5 seconds. There was no tears, no nothing. It was he was just doing a lot for me. But basically, he shows her a portrait of him and his mother. He says that makes him so happy. He loves that she allowed him to be vulnerable. And that's one thing, that he really does like about her, that she's so nurturing. And he feels that this made their connection deeper. Of course you did.
I loved it. You're terrible. Anyway, so Marvin, I'm not gonna lie. Here's another one. It would have got me. It was absolutely beautiful. It was romantic. It gave
You
every.
see how I said, and this is how she ends up with F boys, because look at the Marvin pulled at the end.
Oh, I know, and it's terrible. But he would have had the love bomb, and I felt bad because okay, we'll get into that, y'all. So he done set up a date with Unique, and they going horseback riding. She notices that he keeps taking the lead during their ride, and she's like, "Is this a habit of yours?" And of course, we know he likes to dominate. So I absolutely was like, "Yeah, this is something he does." Now he has, and if I'm not mistaken, isn't that what she said she liked about him in the beginning, and that she wanted to be submissive and all that other stuff? So
yeah, I don't think it was a bad thing for her.
no, I don't think it was a problem. I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know if she's like poking fun at it or because it was like, but
I think
you
so.
know what I mean?
I think she's poking fun at it.
So he has a picnic waiting for her. He got the wine, he got the little charcuterie
Out by the water.
He got the off spray sitting right there so the mosquitoes don't, eat them up. He
Did
got
he really?
he got the Centronella candles around.
He ain't do all that.
No, he didn't, but that's what I'm
But
saying.
let me tell you something. Look, when you said that, I was about to say, hold up. I ain't noticed that. Because if I would have saw that, I'd have been like, now, you know what, homie? You done really put some thought into this. I'd have been like, I would have ended up with an F-boy too. Because listen here.
Okay. So basically she said that, so basically Unique is so impressed by this and that he did this for her that she actually leans in and gives him a kiss. And she said everything just felt right. They discussed non-negotiables and he says he wants more kids, and Unique already has 2 daughters and he has 1. So for him, he'd like to have 2 more, unless he can get a son out of the first one, because he is hell-bent on having a son by any means necessary. So
I wonder if that's why he ain't like her no more, because she's the one that she dominated in that moment and stole the kiss.
That might be you never know, that might have been a turnoff for him. So and basically Marvin said that even though he enjoyed his time, for him he's leaning towards meeting somebody or being with somebody who doesn't have kids, i.e. Katarina.
They all really like Katarina.
Yeah.
So Maria set up a group date with Jessica, Kira, Sierra, Cutie Pie Chris, and Herbert. He had them do an improv class. And this is right up my alley. I thought it was super dope. I love stuff like this. I thought it was super fun. And he says, he felt that this was the best environment to discuss non-negotiables. So the instructor had Jessica and Cutie Pie Chris come to the stage and act out, if they got in a car accident, what would the conversation be after? Chris said he immediately felt attacked because, she made the accident all his fault. And, it helped him realize that he wants someone that he can come to common ground with. And that's really not the energy she's given.
Right.
He said, his common goal is to find a resolution. And if the woman can't find one,
We need a resolution.
it's gonna make it hard to move forward. Now she says she wants to know what his plan for taking care of her is, since it was her car and it was totaled. She said, I want to turn on Anyway, okay, well, she says she knows things are great when they're good, but what happens when she becomes ill? He said, you are my priority. And I own my own business. Basically, you are my business until you get back on your feet.
You better.
Look, and the crowd went wild. Everybody was, even if he didn't do good on the improv.
I was gonna say he got some really good answers. Stop it. Leave me alone.
I like Cutie Pie Chris, but he giving me actor. He belongs in this improv class. So Herbert and Sierra.
Now Herbert and Sierra belong in this class. Because these two, or it might just be a natural energy, how they feed off each other, which I thought was super cute.
Yeah. There wasn't acting, they were improv, and I loved it. So Herbert and Sierra, their improv was visiting his family at the hospital, and then they left. And they're having a conversation about that. So for them, they basically made the entire conversation about passing the maternity ward and wanting to hit up the bathroom to make a baby of their own. She says she wants kids, and he loves the fact that she led that she led that conversation. And felt like that might, they both met each other's match. Okay. They both want the same thing. So both of their non-negotiables is being married before having kids. And they're seeing each other in a different light now. Now, Kira and Maria are at lunch on a Sunday afternoon. And this was the most boring one. Kira is
not only boring, she was out of her element, which is so crazy because she gives me acting.
Dramatic?
Yeah, like every time, and this is okay, I feel like I'm a fun, bubbly person, right? But I don't feel like it's something that I turn on. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like, and maybe because we're not there, like we don't see all the footage, but I feel like every time she walks into a room, it's like she turns on. Does that make sense? And it's just like she's acting like it's not like a natural bubbliness. It's I'm putting on.
I don't think I pay that much attention to her.
Oh, that part.
I just know she's dry.
You think she's dry?
She's dry.
I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, I feel
when I think of someone, when I think of the opposite of dry, I think of Sierra.
Right. But see, that's what I'm saying. Sierra's is natural. Like, I don't think she's acting. Like,
I don't care if it's natural or you put it on. She ain't dry. She's cool. Like, she seems cool to have a conversation with, cool to listen to a story. Like, somebody you want to be in the same room with. You feed off their energy. Kira, when I say dry, I wouldn't want to look her way. She just seems boring. Just, I don't want to hear shit she got to say. Her voice is annoying as hell to me. No, she's dry.
She's giving, like,
stay on your side of the room.
She's giving red.
Giving what?
She's giving red.
You said it, not me.
I'm just saying.
So basically she started off by asking him if he watched church this morning. He said yes, bedside Baptist, which I don't know if she got it or she didn't like.
She didn't like that. You didn't play with the Lord.
She said one of her non-negotiables is, she wants a man who loves the Lord. He said, his non-negotiables is someone who is health conscious. And she said, are you healthy? The way she did it. She said, are you healthy?
Oh no, he felt that shade. He felt it.
Yeah, I said, oh. He said, very. There's some places you can't lose weight in, but
Well,
he is
apparently
mindful of.
he has gout, apparently. The word on the street, Shade Squad, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Say your part.
Oh, and a subscribe button. I'm waiting for the tea. Look,
So
look, I'm just like the Shade Squad.
Word on the street, and he has gout. That's just allegedly. So, and then apparently his baby mama, the same one that he said went and cheated on him while she was pregnant or whatever. He basically, she came out and did a TikTok and was like, oh, when you see your ex on a TV show lying about you or something like that. And supposedly she was supposed to come out and say her piece, but she was like, whatever he's saying on this show is complete cap, allegedly.
Well, then tell us why y'all ain't together then.
Right.
Give us all the tea, because he is.
Right.
So he told her there's places that you can't lose weight in, but he is mindful of what he eats. And when he does eat bad, he does what he needs to do to clean it out. And, he starts talking about how he believes like a lot of their family wouldn't have passed from, certain diseases and things that they passed from if they would have taken a more holistic route. And basically this is the route he takes. So he's basically, and she's like, girl, she's like, oh, I ain't knowing about none of this, girl. But you were like, you over there talking about, oh, are you healthy? I don't know, because at the last scene, he was eating bad. I want to know what the hell he gonna do to get that out his system. Whole half a cow.
Phil meets up with Katarina for a one-on-one. She mentions that she really didn't get to talk to him at the hoedown, and Phil jumps right into the assignment and talks about, spirituality is basically a big deal for him, but not necessarily religion. So Kat seems to be on the same page spiritually, and she's happy that she feels she can be herself around him. He asks her how she feels about a man with kids, and she prefers if the kids are out of diapers because she feels like there's still too much connection between two parents who have, kids that are younger. And obviously you have to be a little bit more with the togetherness of it all. So Phil likes her responses and is like, I really feel like Kat can fit into my life. And I actually do, I could see a really cute vibe between them. If I wasn't mistaken, I would think that her top connections are Phil and Herbert. But I may be wrong.
Yeah. Marvin trying to squeeze his ass up in there.
Right.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I don't think she's interested in being tied and locked up and stuff.
He can just go home because there ain't nobody interested in none of that.
At least nobody here. And there's nothing wrong with kinks. It's just I don't think anybody on the show is ready for it. You're frozen. Or was your face just really stuck like that?
Because you said ain't nobody on the show ready for it. I'm like, who ready for it, Trees?
We don't want to kink shame.
Well, Q invited Unique and Kira to a boxing studio. Unique loves the date. She thought it was super dope. But she said she wanted to dig a little bit deeper. So she asked him if, it's really important for him to find his forever in or out of this journey. And, make sure the co-parenting relationship, is great for the kids. And he says it's not just about co-parenting. It's any relationship that, his partner has. He wants it to be a healthy one. And he wants it to be with someone who's healed from their past relationships. I said, cute. Goodness. Now, she said healed is subjective. Because of her previous marriage, she says that she has a really tough background, but she's open about it. And she says that, some situations she realized that she's not as far along as she might have thought. but it's forever growth. This clearly turned his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
He says, he's in a place where he's healed from his past family relationships, and he wants to get into a relationship now to test it out. But he can recognize, that she's coming from a hurt place, and he believes that she wants her connection to be here. But he said she has a lot of healing to do, and he ain't willing to put that work in. He ain't willing to do it.
He said, I need somebody that's already fixed.
Exactly. I feel you, homie. I feel you. He don't want no projects. Basically, then she left, and then Kira came from the bathroom, which just happened to happen perfect timing, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Now she says that Q looks good, and he always has a smile, but she doesn't know, he doesn't have a lot of genuineness that she feels coming from him. So she wants to see, if there what's beneath the surface. Girl, he's the one with no genuineness.
Right.
Literally, you just said she puts on every time she comes in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So this girl asked him,
She's like, what do you want to know? Oh, you like this? What do you like about me? And I'm just like, that was not your energy 5 minutes ago. It's definitely giving putting on.
Yeah, she's annoying. So this girl asked him what's his preference, because he looks like the type of guy that would be dating white women. First of all, what does that type of guy look like?
Right.
Q did not like that. He said he's never dated a white woman in his life. He did say he has dated Latinas. She's like, oh, okay, so that's your preference over Black women? And he said no, right? He said, no, I love my Black women. So he got frustrated. He said he doesn't know where this question came from, and it really rubbed him the wrong way, because he loves and wants Black love. And he really doesn't even want to try any further with this connection with Kira anymore.
Was it? Nope. The men meet up in the gentleman's lounge to deliberate. Morier says it's Jessica for him. Chris shares his emotional moment with Aries, and Christopher says Kira. Now, Marvin shares with the guys about the kiss he got from Unique. However, he says his top choice is Kat, and Phil says the same. Now, Herbert says Janelle, even though he had to share his time with Q, he also likes how she can speak up for herself. And then he brings up Lee's name. So then, of course, Quentin is like, well, of course.
You just want everybody I got.
Right. And he's like, well, my two strongest connections are obviously Janelle and Lee. So then Tommy asks who they're not connecting with. Morier says Kira because she's giving Black Card revoked. Quentin brings up her asking if he likes white women. And Cutie Pie Chris says Kira as well because she's just giving friend vibes. Now, Herbert says Aries because she doesn't want more kids, or he would be trying to give her more. Christopher also says Aries for the same reason, and Phil says Janelle because she ignored his text. Now,
Martin, she out here getting people's ass about not texting back.
I guess because she was being intentional. I don't want you. So, but I guess the vibe is different with Herbert, so she doesn't expect that. Marvin says Unique, and so mind you, y'all heard what I said, right? Marvin said Unique. He was the first one to say her name, even though that was supposed to be one of his best connect. And so the same way, if we go back to the beginning of the video, and I said, well, didn't he just say he felt like his connections didn't save him? And when it was time to save her, he said, she don't want to be saved, and let her ex go. Anyway, so Marvin, put her up, and Morier says the same thing. They all basically think that she still needs some healing. And so they go out to deliver their decisions.
So in the bottom are Unique and Kira. Morier met up with Kira, and she said she's a little nervous because she knows the guys just met in the gentleman's lounge. And he asked her how she enjoyed the improv date. I think he thought it was funny because he knows she ain't enjoyed that shit. And she said she felt like she was out of her element, but she loves being on stage because she likes to put on. And he tells her that, they met with Tommy and her name came up. And he let her know that the question she asked Q was an issue. And she said, people also prejudge her because she talks very proper and she's very prissy and dainty.
Oh, you know what my notes say? It says he brings up how she acts like one of the girls from White Chicks, and the men aren't really feeling.
You're an idiot. So, you know, she says that she has Black family, but she's not out here like Black power. And he lets her
Basically,
know,
she's not for the culture.
no. Mm-mm. And he let her know that the guys do feel that she's ready to love, but she ultimately felt disrespected by the Black culture thing. She said that she'll take the feedback and, you know, elaborate on what she needs to work on. Marvin met with Unique, and she knows something's up because she got that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys just met with Tommy. Marvin tells Unique that, you know, he likes her energy and confidence, and that's initially what drew him to her. He tells her that, you know, she came up in the gentleman's lounge. Some of the guys just feel like she has some more healing to do. He told her the guys agree that she is not ready to love.
Oh, let me know what you think. Drop down in the comments and let us know what you think of the decision. I personally think that Unique might have been able to stay around and open up a little bit more. I don't think Kira is a bad person, but the same way she's coming at Quentin, I question, does she really mess with Black men? I mean, she said all her homegirls, her friends are, you know, white women.
I
So
would hope so, since she's on a Black relationship show.
well, I would hope so too, but she didn't give Quentin that same grace. So why should we assume the same for her? But yeah, y'all. So that's just my thoughts. Like I said, drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think. But if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And yeah, y'all, we will catch you for another review of Ready to Love next week. Have a good night. Bye-bye.